Joe Orth and I are starting a podcast. What should we call it?
Hey, don't pick on me. You know why? Because this is why. Let's see what he says.
The Joe Show?
Give Joe the business?
That's right. Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe.
What is happening here?
Would you listen?
We'll give you a chance.
Thank you. That's Joe.
That's Rooster.
And this is the Together We Shall podcast, episode 6. What's happening, man?
Not much, man. Post Run With Your Heart recovery. Not physically, I guess, but administrative and emotionally. So that's been a big portion of it. As you know, with Spotlight, but I'll let you talk about that. And some celebration of administrative change within the federal government, recognizing us as a public charity now. And because of that, I'm going to say Miller time right away, because that's exciting.
Miller time, ladies and gentlemen, time in the podcast when we invite you to join us with your favorite beverage.
So yeah, that's cool. And now we're going to be on Amazon Smile soon. So hopefully not too long after people start listening and watching this, you'll be able to go in and buy stuff and support us through Amazon. That's just a couple administrative checks in the boxes to be made there, and that's it. That's really all that's going on. You?
Yeah, both of those things are on my radar. Of course, recognizing us as a public charity is cool, but like the thing that needs to be pointed out is we've been recognized as a public charity since our inception, but it's now finally that the bureaucracy and paperwork has all caught up to actually like give us the right status in what's called the IRS Master Business File. Way more stuff than most people even want to hear about. But ultimately, yeah, nothing's changed for you, the listener, except Amazon Smile might be a soon-to-be thing. And, of course, yeah, Joe mentioned Spotlight Saturday. Man, if you haven't checked out episode 215, like that thing, whew, man, I really love how that came out. It was really, I mean, I'm biased because I'm the editor and producer and all those other things at the amateur level. But, like, I don't know, it just felt different. It felt really good. So,
yeah, it's a good 12 minutes. It's worth your 12 minutes.
I called it 10 minutes. You know, it's all about something. It's all about kind of telling people, hey, it's only 10 minutes, you know.
Somebody. It's like starting off the race series with a bang, you know, a sellout plus, and then a good spotlight episode. I mean, it's like we're in now, like it's racing season. Let's roll, you know. So that's exciting, you know, as exciting as Jay was. He's rocking on.
Jay. Dude, I'm telling you, man, that kid, I say kid, that man, I have so much fun. And I'm convinced every time I'm around him moving forward, we're going to have Jay's pep rally. Like, it just has to happen.
Yeah. You could have Jay's pep rally for 26 miles in October.
Ooh. So, Joe, moving on.
Kevin Smith's like, what?
Yeah. So, all kind of tangents. Number one, Jay's pep rally is as seen in Spotlight Saturday 215. Jay's one of our riders down in Eastern Carolina, and his energy, his energy's contagious. It's amazing. And of course, Joe's saying that I could have that energy for 26.2 miles in October because we are official charity partner of the Marine Corps Marathon, and Joe's always trying to entice me to get back behind to get back to the starting line. I'll be at the starting line. I mean, make no mistake.
You'll be at the starting line. You'll be at the finish line. It's just it's 26.2 in between. That worries most people.
Be course support.
Yeah, there's nothing to worry about. If you're listening to this and you've always wanted to run or roll the People's Marathon, October 30th, 2022 in DC, contact Joe at Ainsley'sAngels.org and we will make that happen.
That's a great segue because, like, our guest today has already committed, and she's going to join us in October. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I think proper introductions should be in place first. Who wants to do that, Joe? You want to introduce? You want me to introduce?
Go for it.
Oh man,
well, like this.
I just like it because it's just cool. It's just cool. I love storytelling. I love giving people the opportunity to tell their story, and I really love perspectives. Perspective's so important. And today, Miss Eyvette Hanna, who is one of our riders up in 2 ambassadorships, both Southeast Pennsylvania as well as South Jersey, Amanda in Pennsylvania and Dave in South Jersey, she's with us. And I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. And without further ado, Eyvette, welcome to the Together We Shall podcast.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor. We're excited.
So we are excited. And so, what we would love for you to do is tell us, who you are, more than obviously your name, where you are, and I don't know, why are you here? Why are you on this podcast, other than the fact that we asked you?
Of course. Well, I'm Eyvette, and I live in New Jersey, as Kim Rooster said. And I've actually joined Ainsley's Angels a couple of years ago, and it's definitely the best sign up of my life. I also I'm sorry, I do a lot of ums and all that. I get nervous for a little bit, but
nothing to be nervous about. It's just 3 friends talking.
Gotcha.
That's literally all it is right now. It's just 3 friends talking.
Well, I work for a cancer center as an office administrator, and I have one sister who's average height, and I'm basically decking it out in New Jersey.
Well, this is fun. I'm loving it. A lot of people who listen to early episodes know that I was born in New Jersey and lived there for many years. It's a little known fact. I noticed that you said that you had one sister of average height. What?
Yes.
Can you? What do you've decided to tell us your sister's height? Why?
Well, not a lot of people know unless they watch me or they see me. I'm a little person. AKA what they say dwarf. Not like the 7 little doors, but just a little person where I'm shorter than the average person. I have my arms and my legs are disproportionate, but my mind is 100%. Normal, and I go to work and go to school, or I did go to school, and I'm just all I am is just a little person in a small package.
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that, dude. I love that, and I love the fact that that you made it very, very clear that maybe a little person in physical stature, but that your mind is 100% there, and I would add that your heart is 100% there, having spent many times with you in person, exchanging thoughts and feelings. I can tell and attest that that's 100% the case. No doubt. For sure. Well, this is fun. So thank you. Thank you very much for coming in here and joining us and doing this here podcast thing. So have you had a chance to listen to any of the previous episodes?
Yeah, I did. I actually listened to the last one. I thought it was really, really good. The one where you had with your group and the Run With Your Heart. I thought it was a really good podcast. And I actually listened to Lori's as well.
You got 3 more to listen to.
Yes, I do have them. And I actually listened to them on my way to work. I have an hour drive to work. So it definitely, it's a good to listen to while we're driving there.
So there's a question, because I'm curious, right? As a little person, you're driving, do you have what kind of enhancements or whatever do you have to your vehicle if you're driving?
Yeah, I actually have pedal extensions on my car that are hooked to the regular extensions. And I drive you would think I would drive like a small sedan, but I actually drive a CRV, like a SUV. For some reason, I like to be more higher, you want to say?
Yeah.
Although when you see me in the car, I still look like, like still little, like in a big truck kind of thing. And but yeah, it's more of just extensions attached to my regular car. So I can actually detach them and any other car like when necessary, but it just takes a little time to take it out and put back in, of course.
Do you work in Jersey or in Philly?
I work in Jersey, I would say about maybe 45 minutes away from my home, but unfortunately with traffic, now that everybody's getting back to work, it's about like an hour or so. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you said you work for?
I work for a cancer center.
So what's that all?
Basically, yeah, it's a cancer center that we treat cancer patients with either radiation or medical oncology. I'm like an office coordinator for a couple of doctors as well as APNs, or I should say advanced practice nutrition. I always say it, APNs, advanced practice practitioners. That's what they are. And it's in a way it kind of makes me feel like that I'm giving back in the healthcare community. Because of my disability and family history, um, you know, stuff like that, which don't want to get into too much detail in. But it's my way of giving back, working in these kind of environments.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, especially for something that impacts, I don't know, right? How many people in cancer, right? Very impactful in my life, especially in my immediate family. All the cancers, if you would. But I also know that a handful of years ago, you did a race and raised money for American Cancer Society, and that's cool because I did that couple times. There's some spotlight footage, Rooster running with us in an ultra marathon, raising money for both Ainsley's Angels and the American Cancer Society. So myself, my wife Leanne, a couple other friends, 2 or 3 years we did that, and that's awesome when you can give back to near and dear organizations. So yeah, I'm with you on the cancer train.
Yeah, it's as a little person, sometimes I mean, I'm blessed with, my health and, I'm blessed with my family, that I have a home and everything like that. But sometimes you feel like, um, because of your height, you feel like you don't do so much, you know what I mean? Like physically. But if I just try to find other ways, like this podcast or, the races, just a small way of doing something, that actually lifts me up, lifts, the people around me up.
Yeah, it's I mean it's kind of similar, or it is similar to the like together we shall motto, right? I mean, small things, right? But together, right, we can do so much more. I think Rooster wanted to like raise his hand.
I know I raised my hand. I wanted to talk. I love listening to the two of you, especially knowing this is the first time the two of you have met, Joe and Eyvette. So I think that I don't know. I'm enjoying listening to you. But what you just
emails.
Yeah, definitely with all the emails that I got to learn about Joe, and you got to learn about me with the emails.
I think that what you're describing really is that sense of purpose and that sense of belonging. And between purpose and belonging, if we can find those things in our lives, like suddenly that perspective shift happens, and our relevance and our value, we start to feel relevant. We start to feel value and impact. And I love the way that you've described that belonging, man. Gosh, so important. And when I think about like the fact that when I started running with Ainsley and and Joe eventually started running with Ainsley, and other people across the country started running with Ainsley. This is something you didn't even know was available. You didn't know that this was even an option until.
Nope. Honestly, I wish I knew, like, God knows how many years ago. I really did. When I found out, I was like, wow, there's actually an organization, that actually, makes people with disabilities feel like they're strong, that they're a person, like, as a little person growing up, we didn't have a lot of this stuff when, like in the 80s and the 90s. I'm not gonna say I'm obviously my age, but in those kind of times, it wasn't. I think back then it was a lot more discriminatory, and more what you can't do than what you can do, And honestly, hats off to you guys. I know I'm probably getting in too much into it, but hats off to you guys for this amazing organization. Honestly, like when I talk about Ainsley's Angels to anybody, I'm proud of it. To be honest, I'm proud to be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're proud to and honored that you're proud. I mean, it's individuals like you are why we do this. I know you mentioned when you found out about Ainsley's Angels. Do you know? You said you wanted to know, wish you found out years ago. When did you find out, and how did you?
Yeah, if I can start going back to my story. I found out about Ainsley's Angels. If to, maybe like to backstep a little bit, my sister, I'm sorry, a friend of mine, she wrote a book called the Lost Mile. I'm sorry, the Longest Mile, I believe. And I just like read about it. She's a doctor, and she does races or Broad Street Run. I'm sorry, Broad Street Run for people with cancer, the American Cancer Society. And when I read the book and learned about her story, I was like amazed by it. And honestly, I wanted to do something, to help, raise money for the American Cancer Society. So back in 2017, I actually asked, to be part of this foundation called the Team CMMD Foundation. And I asked, my friend who's, the president of it, if I can have my sister, to join, on my behalf, because I wanted to do something and I couldn't do it, physically. But I asked if, she could be on my behalf. And, with all that sign up, it went really, really well. And she did the race. Although it was the longest race of my sister's life.
So just so I'm tracking here, you wanted your sister to represent you by running a race and physically completing that race, and at the same time raising funds for the American Cancer Society. And when you asked your sister to do that, she said yes, and then she ran the race. And did you raise money at the same time?
Yes, I did. I raised about, I think that first year I raised about, I think it was $2,000 for the American Cancer Society. And part of it went to the foundation as well, the Team CMMD Foundation. Just get a small backstory about the foundation. They assist people who have cancer with scholarships, their kids with scholarships, as well as meals on wheels kind of thing. Anything that a cancer patient needs, they assist with. So some of the money was raised for them as well. So after that year, the following year, just by a random post, to be honest, from the foundation, somebody actually wrote like, I want to do a race, but I would love to push a person with a disability. And when I read that post, I was just like in my head, I was just like, do I answer or do I not? Like I was I was very, intimidated because I'm like, how are we going to do this kind of thing. So I answered him, and he said that he had, when it originally started, he had a friend that had chairs. We don't know if it was a wheelchair or it was like more racing chairs. And so, he was like, yeah, let's do this, let's, raise money for CMMD, the American Cancer Society, let's do this race. And when we were starting, we met, like a month later, etc. And then we started the whole process of getting, the chair. It turned out that for his friend, I guess the plans fell through, but he did at that year, it was 2018, he actually saw you guys at the Love Run. And that's where he met her. The Love Run.
The Love Run in Pennsylvania.
Run, right?
Yes.
The Philly Love Run.
The Philly Love Run in 2018. He saw, like, he was telling me, like, he texted me, I think right before he actually started running. He's like, I saw this whole group with these pink chairs, and we have to sign up. And I was like, really? So I actually did. Like, literally while he was, doing his half marathon, I actually went on the website and I was like, you know what, this actually is cool. Let me give it a shot.
And
So I just want to clarify. So the plan was that he was looking to get a chair, but that fell through, and so he went ahead and ran. Okay, so he went ahead and ran the Love Run, I guess, kind of without you, but with you in his heart, and it just so happened that boom. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I know, like I said, I get nervous a little bit, but just a clarification, we wanted to do Broad Street. The Pacific race we wanted to do together was Broad Street Run, because that was where, the rest of the foundation, they fund.
In Philly as well?
That's also in Philly as well. All the races most of the races that I do is all in Philly, which is, you would think that I would do more in New Jersey, but I don't see a lot in New Jersey unless Dave Goldstein, which is the New Jersey ambassador, would sign us up for. But that's later in the segment. But
Dave's down in South Jersey, so that's part of the reason why. Because you live up in the northern area, right, or central northern area?
Yes, I live in central Jersey, so about an hour and a half away from him. But
so your friend, he sees this group of pink chariots at the Love Run, tells you you got to sign up. I'm gonna sign up, and y'all did. And then what happened?
And then Broad Street 2018 came in Philly. And that's where we met Amanda Piccarelli Hall. I met her for the first time. I have not talked to her. I haven't really communicated with her all that prior to meeting her. I think Chris, who was the person that was who was work coordinating all this, he was doing all the communication. So I met her at the race itself, and boy, was she a burst of energy, that woman. And she still is, by the way. Hi, Amanda, when you see this. And she honestly, first of all, this was going to be my very first race. I've never, raced in my life. Never thought that I would ever do something like this. And, this was the first time I saw the chair, and this was the first time I met Amanda. It was an overwhelming day in general, because, I never thought that I would do something like this. So when I met Amanda, she was very, like I said, full of energy, and she was like, "Oh, let's get you in this chair," and everything like that. And she literally, got me in the chair. Like, I was trying to crawl in, but she literally helped me pick up and put me in the chair. And I think I weighed 20 more pounds than I do now, back then. But yeah, and the rest was history. It was the best meeting of my life with her. She's a really good woman.
We often say, welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. And so That would have been what I'd have told you. If I'd have seen your joy when she put you in that chair, I would have said, "Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life." And you can attest, like that's so
Yeah.
fitting now looking back, right? Pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
so that would be the first time you sat in the chair, and then you went
Yes.
to the starting line. Tell me about what you were feeling, at the starting line, this thing you thought you never could do. What's
Yeah.
going through your head? How are you feeling about this whole experience? Like paint the picture.
I I never I've never been to a race before. I've never seen like the fans. I've never seen, like something, this magnanimous, like um it was honestly a true experience. And I think I was the only, no, there were other wheelchair racers as well, but I think I was the only one, in Ainsley's Angels chair, because I think at that time, Broad Street Run was not sponsored by Ainsley's Angels, but thankfully Amanda allowed us, to, borrow the chair and let us race. But as sitting in the seat, I was I literally like took everything in. Like I literally like watched the fans. I literally watched the trail, and I was in the same time I kept asking, Chris, my partner who pushed me. I asked him. I said, "Are you okay? You good? Am I heavy? Am I?" And like I was even concerned as well. Like, am I too heavy for him in pushing? Take a break if you need it, and stuff like that. Like my mind, I think, was like all over the place, in a way. Happy, but in the same sense concerned because this is our first time doing something like this. And I remember he was saying, "No, we're good, we're good, we're good. Are you having fun? Stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm having a blast." And I think as we were racing, I was literally taking out my camera, my phone, and like taking pictures of like the scenery kind of thing. That's how I best capture most of my races now. Taking the scenery of other runners as well as the actual streets of Philly. And we had a blast. Honest, I definitely had a blast. And as a matter of fact, we were done early. And I remember asking Chris. I was asking him. I said, "Chris, that's it? Like that's all? Like like I wasn't like I think I wanted to do more. Like I wanted, since it was only 10, I thought 10 miles was going to be a long time, like maybe 2, 3 hours. We were done under 90 minutes. And I was like, that's it. Like we even took a bathroom break. That's it. Like that's how I was like, that's it after. But you know what? Looking back at it, that was, one of the best races of my life. My very first one. And after seeing all the pictures and after seeing all the smiles, and even after seeing all the runners beside it, it's like good job, keep up the good work, like everybody running, beside us, it just that experience was totally awesome.
And that was 18, right? Is that what you said?
Yes, that was
so
in 2000.
4 years later.
Yep, 4 years later. Look where we're at now.
That's so what's really neat, is you sharing your experience of the first race here with us today, because it goes back to what we talked about a little bit at the beginning of the episode with Spotlight and those 10 minutes of really showcasing what the organization is all about. So you have, in the next 7 days, video viewers and listeners get to hear it and see it twice, right? You got the Run with Your Heart and Jay's pep rally and all of Rooster's documentation, and then hearing it from you, a rider in a different part of the country, and it's the exact same. So it's really neat. And I also liked how you said you pulled out your phone and signed up, and it's awesome because we like to tell people it's really easy. I think it's right. There's a video about it, how to sign up in less than 60 seconds. It's that easy to go to our website, click join the family, and you're in. So if you're listening or watching this and you haven't done so, maybe maybe pause real quick, take 60 seconds to sign up, and then hit play again.
Absolutely. It's the best sign up of your life. Trust me, guys.
That's awesome. I love the way that you phrase that. The best sign up of my life. That's really cool. I love that. And so the next year, 2019, you ran Broad Street again, as well as Yellow Stairway. Yellow Stairway is a race that part of our race series, just like Run with Your Heart. So talk to me about Yellow Stairway 2019. And I might be a little bit biased. But go ahead. Tell us.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I signed up for Yellow Stairway, at first I was just like, I kind of signed it up as a thank you, for allowing me to use the chair twice, for both Broad Streets. That's what my original thought going in, signing up for Yellow Stairway. I didn't think I didn't think that I would go, drive an hour and a half just for like a 5K, or I'm sorry, I should say a 6K race or a 12K race at first. But I was like, you know what, just do it, drive an hour and a half and, have fun. And, that's where I met Amanda again. And I met you, Rooster. I remember I think we were first talking about, you were showing me about Ainsley's chairs, like the chairs that you were, that she rid in. And honestly, I think that was another monumental, race that I'll never forget as well. Because I don't know, not a lot of people know, but Rooster was kind enough to allow me to sit in Ainsley's chair during that race. And
well, not only did you get to sit in it, but like you did the whole race in it. Like we did it together. No, we didn't do it together. We danced afterwards, though.
We danced afterwards. We definitely danced afterwards. And I think that was awesome in itself, just that dance,
Oh gosh, yeah, heck yeah. So the chair you rolled in the race in is Ainsley's red chair, which travels around to the different Ainsley's Angels race series events. In fact, that's the intent of that chair to be at the places where the arch is. That's kind of how we do it. We always like to pick somebody that represents Ainsley's spirit and her joy and her just her energy to be the one that rides in that chair. So that was you for that race. And therefore, I got to meet you. And did it roll okay? How'd it roll? Did it pull to the left?
No, it rolled real well, to be honest. You know what the hilarious thing was? When I first got there, they told me, I mean, God honest truth, before I actually met you and, we actually started talking, they showed me the chair. And I was just like, in my head, I mean, no disrespect to Angel, I was like, this is an old chair. Like, I want to sit in the blue chair. So that's like, I was just like, I didn't know it was Angel's chair. That was the hilarious thing. I did not know. God honest truth, I did not know it was Ainsley's chair until the end of the race.
Yeah.
Like after told me later
somebody showed you a copy of Born an Angel and said, see Ainsley and her sister on the cover of this. You see that chair? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that chair.
Like it was funny. Like when I first got there, I was just like, that's the chair I'm sitting at? And then I was just like, and then after I sat on it and like you my team, rolled me in the race and I found out, I was like, oh my God, that is a blessing that I sat in her chair. I was honored, truly humbled and honored.
Who was, you said your team, who pushed you?
At that time it was Kristen Stokes. Hi, Kristen. Kelly Hayes. Yeah, it was those two. Yeah, Kristen Stokes and Kelly Hayes.
I put you on the spot, and for a second I was like, "Oh man, I like that you knew." That's impressive. Bravo.
That's really cool. I ditto that. Like I love that you knew that. Not just first and last name. Took you all the way back to 2019. And I mean, I think again, I love your perspective that you're offering to us today on a lot of different things. But even just that answer to that question is good perspective. Like there is a bond formed between a rider and a runner. Yeah, it's special. It's really special. So
Absolutely. I'm still friends with those girls still today. You know, half the time I'll be like, hey, are you guys doing this race? I want you guys to push me. Or, you know, like, even though I like, you know, I like meeting other people, sometimes you still want your girl, you know, to, you know, they're like, have your back kind of thing. And they were very sweetheart. They're all, loved them.
That's awesome. You could also tell them about Marine Corps, and maybe you girls can roll in Marine Corps.
Exactly. I actually still have to ask. I think I heard Kristen is doing it, but I have to find out if Kelly's doing it. So.
Yeah, little opportunity. Put the band back together. Love it.
Yeah.
And then of course you mentioned after the race up there, we got to dance, and
yes,
I'll tell you, man, I remember that. I could see it like it was yesterday, because I was having a blast, but I was feeding off of your energy, and I just grabbed the front wheel of that chair, and we just danced. And every Ainsley's Angels race series race, generally speaking, since then I'm finding myself dancing with the riders in their chairs, doing the same thing, and it always takes me back to our dance. And I told you when we were done, I said every time we see each other, we're gonna dance. And it's held true, right?
Yeah, it's definitely true. And I love our dances. Honestly, I mean, our first dance, I was really amazed that you actually chose me to dance with you. That's when I was humbled and honored as well. That, you know, like I was one of the lucky ones to dance with the president of Ainsley's Angels.
Oh goodness! You make me blush. No.
No, it was a mutual. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It's not, you know, just a blush and all that. I do mean it. You know, like it's funny for me. It's a good and a bad thing. When I meet people, I kind of consider them family right away. You know, like it's more of, you know, friend. Like I'm like a hugger. You know, I pour out of my heart more than my mind. Although sometimes I think I need to control that, but in the same sense, you know, like when I met you, Rooster, I was like amazed. And when I meet everybody else, Amanda, Joe, even Dave, anybody, you know, like I love all you guys.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. I would be, I guess, remiss, or I don't want to ever miss an opportunity for a tangent, because those are a big part of our show. But I have to know, what song did you guys dance to? Do either of you remember?
I forgot.
So I don't remember.
Yeah.
So number one, yeah, she has video, and we're going to need that video because we have our Together We Shall podcast on Instagram that we invite everybody to follow. So we'll post some of that. But Joe, I don't remember what it was in Pennsylvania. And I do know that we kept the beat. But here's what I can tell you. We had a chance to do another dance in Doylestown. We went to the Travis Manion Foundation's 9/11 Heroes Run, and Eyvette and I ran that race as well. And I know what we danced to that one, because when we got to mile 1 at the top of this hill, there was like a drum and snare band, like right there on the side of the road. And I just pulled the chair over, and what happened next, Eyvette? What happened, Eyvette?
We were dancing to the beat, like literally every single beat, every time. Like they were doing drums, and you know, Rooster was like on top of it right away. Like they stopped, he stopped. You know, he was literally dancing to the beat. It was so much fun. It was definitely so much fun.
Nice.
And then we had to keep running.
Yeah. That part we couldn't forget.
Yeah, so we kept running, and then we went all the way around the course, and then we came back. They were still there. Yeah. So the course marshal had it to where you had to turn left and go around these cones. We were like, We just kind of went just slightly on the other side of the cones, and we had another dance session. I was like, I don't see this lady enough. We are not going to miss an opportunity. So we got into it again.
And then somebody got a text from Milo breaking the course rules.
Tangent. For everybody that doesn't know who Milo is, he was the race director of the very first Ragnar relay, and I'm pretty sure Joe and I have talked about this before. Joe broke some rules, or Sean Heritage, or Lygia.
Lygia broke some rules.
And she got a text from the race director. It said, team number 63, you've been marked wrong. Joe's going to his phone right now to find the text. Because everybody on the team,
I have it.
Everybody on the team gets the text. And so when you do a Ragnar relay, you're in two separate vehicles, but both teams get the text. And so you're just skylit. But anyway.
I do, yeah. So October 4th, 2013. First rule violation, Team 63, leg 8, supporting on a non-supporting leg. Please follow the rules and stay safe. And the best is it's all caps. And then it's like, in regular case, Ragnar Race Command, they want you to know that you did something wrong. And yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah. I
totally
heat index warning. So yeah, we had a interesting event.
Yeah. I remember that like it was yesterday because, anyway, I'm not going to relive the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure that Sean Heritage had a pink cape on and it was running downhill. This dude's 6'2", ball-headed, probably 250 pounds, downhill with this cape. And Lygia pulled off to the side of the road in the van in order to provide some water to him that he didn't even need. And you can't pull over in that particular leg. But anyway, we digress.
Leg 7.
I thought it was 8.
Right. Because you cut it right coming out of coming out of the gas station. It's the same one
that going to the gas station.
7 goes to the gas station, right? That's the long. It doesn't matter.
The course doesn't even exist anymore. Thanks,
Milo. Get it together. Get it together, Milo.
Anyway,
you ever we have a guest. Ragnar, Eyvette?
Huh?
Is a Ragnar on your? What's your future race schedule?
I would love to do it. I would love to do a Ragnar one. Maybe not this year. Maybe next year or the year after. I would definitely love to do a Ragnar. But there's not a lot of Ragnars around New Jersey.
Yeah.
There's one. They said it's a trail, but they need to do a road. That's what I was told.
Definitely need to do a road. But there's 2 in New England that work, and then what do you call it? Tennessee, Michigan. I'm trying to think of anything close to that area. Those are the 4 closest ones. What is your 2022 schedule look like?
Well, I hope to do a couple of triathlons. I want to do the New Jersey State Triathlon in July, I believe. And Amanda sent us one for the sprint I think it was a sprint triathlon. I forgot where, in Pennsylvania. So those are my 2 go-tos. Of course, Yellow Stairway in May, and how can I forget the Love Run coming up in a couple weeks? I'm doing the Philly Love Run again. That's actually my most favorite race because I love seeing all the pink, everybody in pink in the front row, like all aligned, and we're ready to go. That's my favorite race of the year.
So Philly Love Run, that's is it this month? Why do I feel like
Yep. It's in, I believe, in 2 weeks from today, I think.
And then May 7th is the Yellow Stairway. So if you're listening and haven't signed up for that, either in person or virtual, gonna go out on a limb and don't yell at me, Amanda. The fifth annual.
That sounds about right.
Gosh.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So that's exciting. New location this year too. But yeah, definitely check that one out if you haven't. And then so the tries. Have you done tries before? Or no.
Nope. It'll be my first try.
Nice.
That one, and I think I'm also doing. Now that I think about it, I have a whole list of them. I think it's a Upper Dublin triathlon as well that I signed up for. So definitely this year is going to be busy.
And then
I'm so excited for it, especially the past 2 years we haven't been racing a lot, because of COVID. Yeah. COVID got in our way, unfortunately. But hopefully this year we'll be all back in action.
Yeah, and then maybe not closing out the year, but before the weather definitely starts to turn, another Marine Corps marathon pitch.
Yes. The
If
Marine
they're there,
Corps
I'm gonna
Marathon will be,
hit the
probably be my
softballs.
last one.
Yeah, we have it's awesome too. 55, and that's absolutely a pun intended, right? Roosters football number 55 rider spots for this year's marathon.
Wow.
It's exciting and it's absolutely nerve-wracking for me at the same time, logistically and all that. But yeah, so I mean, you and 54 friends are gonna toe the line and the nation's capital October 30th. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. That'll be my first one. I remember signing up like 2 years ago, and then when the whole COVID happened,
And
I was like,
I know that'll be your first Marine Corps. Will that be your first marathon?
no. My first marathon was the Atlantic City Marathon back in 2019.
Oh, was that the one that was like real wet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to run in wet races. I've done 2 Broad Street in the rain, and then the Atlantic City one was also in the rain. I was just like, by the time I get home, I always I'm like cold, but I always trying to prepare myself with the ponchos, but ponchos don't work, unfortunately.
You know what works really well is just knowing it's gonna suck so bad it's gonna be awesome, and then bagel bags. You can line your arms with bagel bags. I've had success there.
I never tried that. I tried the trash bags, but not the bagel bags.
It's a tangent that I think we talked about in a previous episode when I guided Michael Davis pushing Ashton at Boston, and in the by far worst weather I've ever done anything outdoors in. So that's how I survived that race. But yeah, ponchos are good. Actually, 2019, the last Marine Corps we did in person, that was the one that like poured, right, Rooster?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
and that's why I don't like that. That's why I just don't like what y'all are talking about. Everything y'all are talking about is horrible weather, but we're linking it in right into the Marine Corps Marathon 2022. Y'all have to stop this.
I will tell you this.
What are you doing?
I'll tell you this. 2019 Marine Corps Marathon, that was my 6th or 7th Marine Corps. By far the worst weather conditions, but potentially my favorite Marine Corps. Just because it was just, this is it. It's going to be bad. And Justin, Eli, and I just accepted it. And that was it. It was, you had people trying to like dodge puddles, but it was like, no, where are you going to go? Like, the Blue Mile was a river. Like, you can't get around it. Just attack. You don't get to choose the terrain you fight on. And hey, we embraced that challenge. I don't know. But yeah, no rain.
Any climb in place. I got you. Little reference to the Marine hymn. That's cool. So you've had some terrible weather at Atlantic City, Eyvette.
Mm-hmm.
What about some great weather? Like tell us about one of those great race memories that comes to mind as I put you on the spot to tap into your database. Just a cool experience.
The Philly Marathon that I did last November. The weather we thought it was going to rain, but it didn't rain at all. As a matter of fact, it was like lots of sunshine. And I was like, thank you, God, that it was like, not a wet day. It was like the perfect weather. And that was a blast. It was a little cold, but it wasn't like so frigid that, you would think in November weather would be. Luckily, we lucked out at that, with the weather, but it was an awesome race as well.
You got to meet the young lady who used to be a runner but became a rider.
Yes, Diane Barbarian, I believe. I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name. Yeah, she's a cancer survivor. But it was an honor to meet her. I guess the Philly Marathon was her last race, and I got to meet her while I was sitting in chair next to her, and she seems like a wonderful woman, and very courageous woman. And every day she's like writing on her Facebook page, how her day is going, with her treatment and not treatment, just a regular day. And it's definitely an inspirational story, how she's surviving day by day, and she's living day by day as much as she can, even though she knows that her days are outnumbered, but she's living to the fullest.
And I think that's really the essence of what it's all about, is to find people in our lives that we can relate to in some way, because I believe with enough conversation you can find a commonality, and then to connect along that commonality, and then leverage whatever it offers for one another to go forth. I mean, I know in my heart that her meeting you at the start of that race, and to now have a perspective that you offered, probably inspired her just as easily. And that's just beautiful, how when you take a moment to listen to one story, how you can really find those common points. And that's the beauty of what we do. And it's really the essence of this podcast, is to have a chance to do this. So, I'm grateful that you were able to come on and hang out with us. You might not even realize it, but we've been talking for like over 50 minutes already. And
that's good.
And I know, right? Time goes by so fast whenever you dedicate the time to truly listening to what people have to offer. So thanks for dancing with us today. This is fun.
Thank you for having me. It was truly an honor and a privilege.
Now you can say you danced with Joe, because that's like our main segment of the podcast is Let's Dance, because it's just that conversation, just three friends talking, and we danced verbally, virtually.
Exactly.
Check a box, because I don't dance.
So there's so many answers that you could give us, Eyvette, but like, what's your favorite movie, or one of your top favorite movies? Do you have any that come to mind, like all-time favorites, or maybe the last movie you watched? Anything.
I don't have a specific favorite movie, but I kind of like, the like Ocean's 11 kind of series, Ocean 11, 12, with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, all of them. I like any mystery kind of criminal movies. And I also like romantic comedies too, but it's more of the criminal crime fighting kind of movies. I haven't seen the latest movie. I think the Spider-Man is out. I haven't seen that yet because COVID and all that. But I plan to go out and see that soon.
That's cool. I asked you because Joe's really good at movie quotes. I don't know if you knew that. Like every movie you were saying right now, Joe was thinking of a quote from that movie. So I'm curious to see what he wants to say right now.
I was like, man, is he gonna pull one from those? Because there's a couple in the Oceans series, but man, I'm also a huge fan. Probably don't know enough quotes from it, the Ocean series, but I love. I think it's 12. When they get arrested in Europe, and Matt Damon's mom like poses as whatever, like State Department person, and like bails him out. And then like gets in the car and he's like, "You're not going to tell Dad, are you?" Like,
are you? Yeah.
They're a family of criminals, and this Matt Damon, like one of the most famous actors, just sitting in the back of a car, still handcuffed. Like, "You're not going to tell Dad, are you, that like you had to bail me out?" So I just like that scene. It's very funny.
I can tell you like it. You're really fired up about that. Eyvette, you know that scene? You know what he's talking about? Because I don't.
I know exactly what scene. Or even when I think it was his father that pulled his fake nose.
Yeah.
That was hilarious as well. He was like, "Ow!" And I was just like, but I honestly love the series, especially like how lighthearted it could be. Yeah, it could be like a criminal movie or a crime fighting movie, but the humor behind it, it's so awesome. Love that.
Sure. So what we just did was we asked you a question about a movie, And then we were able to tie that into Joe, and then Joe got to think about movies, and then suddenly both of you both lit up with excitement because you had this common thing and this scene that you both could replay in your minds, and that's what I'm talking about. Like strangers, essentially, who with enough conversation can find that common point. And that's really my challenge to anybody that's listening to us, to go forth this week with an eye towards figuring out how you and someone you don't really know can intersect, and then you can kind of drive down that same lane together, because it can bring, I mean, it just multiplies the energy. I just think it's really neat. I don't know, maybe I'm just a different person in how I think, but
I think to add that, Rooster, I think it also starts with a smile, and start with a smile and start with a wave and start with, like truly caring, caring about people, like especially with the stuff going on now, I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that, but with the world, what's going on in the world today, I think just a smile or just a hello will get you to, far, get you to places, show the people that you care. I think we need to do more of that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's contagious. Pass it on, right? Whether it's absolutely. Portuguese, Chinese, whatever. But what's even better is as we, start to close out the episode, one of the things Rooster always likes to do is ask, what's your word, your weekly word or whatever. And just because I promise everyone, my word, I'm getting ahead and like stealing Rooster's thunder, but my word for this week is smile, because of what we mentioned at the beginning, Amazon smile. Like that's my word, and like part of the what I'm up to is Ainsley's Angels and Amazon smiles, like one of the top things on my to-do list this week. But we can go back and let Rooster ask the question.
We don't even have to go back. I mean, that was beautiful. So you're telling me before we even started today, you knew smile was going to be the weekly word answer. And just moments ago, that's like, you got to smile this week. I mean, come on, man. I mean, if that's not enough, like I part of me wants to just roll the end credits, man, and just get out of here because everything aligned. We're just going to smile. I mean, but that wouldn't be nice because I want to give Eyvette the mic. What's up? What do you want to say as we wrap this episode out?
I just want to say, everybody is different. This is what I say to little kids. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique. Everybody, if we're all the same, we would definitely be boring. Embrace that. Embrace, all of our uniqueness. Embrace, don't be shy to come up and say hi. Don't be shy to, smile at somebody. Be kind to one another. We need more of that. Be kind to one another. Be humble to one another. Be lovable to one another, even as strangers. And I remember reading somewhere, Rooster, I think it was one of our mottos: strangers today, friends tomorrow, family forever. And honestly, that's the true meaning of Angels, at least for me. But so thank you for letting me become part of your family.
I mean, that's beautiful. Thank you for. I'm done here, bro. That was perfect. Let's roll it, man.
You know what? I got enough.
He's in charge.
We're done. This was good.
Yeah, we're done here. The structure of this building has reached its capacity.
Find your people, and if they make you feel sexy, even better.